Welcome to the AI Demystified for Executives podcast. This is the weekly podcast for executives who want to learn how to apply AI to their business. I'm your host, Andrew Saltz. Today we're exploring AI agents, technology that's fundamentally different from the chatbots and automation tools you might be familiar with. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what AI agents are, how they're different from traditional AI tools, and why they matter for your business. So, what are AI agents? If we look at a strict definition based on the International Organization for Standardization, an AI agent can be broadly defined as an entity that senses sound, text, image, pressure, etc., using sensors and responds to its environment. AI agents generally have the autonomy, defined as the ability to operate independently and make decisions without constant human intervention, and authority, defined as the granted permissions and access rights to perform specific actions within defined boundaries, and to take actions to achieve a set of specified goals, thereby modifying their environment. Very academic, if you will, textbook. I think one of the things we're experiencing is as we've had this revolution, if you will, of AI, and with generative AI really causing this tipping point, if you will, in the world, where the business is now exposed to a lot of terminology used in. I think the notion of the word agent may give you pause. If you think about it, maybe for some, the first thing that pops in your mind when you hear the word agent is like an FBI agent. You think of someone that has power, someone that may take something away. Could be. And so we'll need to come to grips with what do these words mean that we're using? In the software world, the term agent's been used for decades. But if you're not used to that term, it could be threatened. Okay, so take with this as you will. That's how it's defined, broadly speaking, as something that could act autonomously with human intervention, right, is a key thing. So as we talk about these, we're not talking about agents that are taking over the world. We're going to talk about these as really autonomous software systems that can understand context, make decisions, and take actions to achieve specific goals. Right? Again, guided by humans. We're writing software around these to make this work. So unlike traditional chatbots or automation tools, again, they could operate independently across multiple systems. They could learn and improve from experience, could handle complex variable tasks, make some contextual decisions, and take actions without constant human oversight. So some of the key characteristics you'll see, again, AI agents are software entities that could plan and execute complex workflows, operating autonomously to complete tasks or assist humans with specific tasks and specific services. So again, unlike traditional chatbots, they can understand context, they could reason about tasks, and they could learn from outcomes. So you think about it, you could integrate these with your existing enterprise systems, from ERPs to CRMs to supply chain tools. And they could also ingest data, make decisions, and again, take these actions. So as we think about the evolution from chatbots to AI agents, the early chatbots that you're used to, they're really simple rule-based systems. Respond to keywords. So the virtual assistants like Siri, they added natural language processing, but they remained really reactive to you. AI agents, again, these are now combining advanced language models with decision-making frameworks and domain knowledge. So it's the combination of the two. It's using the advanced language models and combining it with decision-making frameworks and domain knowledge. Okay, a key difference is adaptability and reasoning. Traditional automation that you may be used to follows fixed rules. Agents can handle variations and exceptions similar to a human worker. And the key difference from traditional automation, again, adaptability and reasoning. Traditional automation, again, it follows fixed rules. There are 4 general types of agents, and we will get into these in more detail in the next episode, where we go into the technical underpinnings and some of the implementation. But the 4 different types you'll see are simple reflex agents. So these do basic decision making, good for straightforward tasks, and they'll have limited contextual understanding. Model-based agents, they have a better understanding of the environment, can handle complex scenarios, and can do more sophisticated decision making. Learning agents, in this where there's a continuous improvement capability, so constantly trying to learn, could adapt to new situations and learn from interactions with their environment. Now, that could be interactions with the user, with the environment and the data that they're accessing. And then the 4th would be goal-based agents. These really focus on specific objectives, really strategic decision-making, long-term planning capabilities. Why does this matter at the executive level, and why should you care? At the end of the day, AI agents have the potential to amplify your workforce's productivity and strategic capability. If you're a CFO, imagine an AI finance agent reconciling invoices, flagging potential fraud, or synthesizing compliance reports without human intervention. If you're a COO in manufacturing, picture an agent monitoring machine data 24/7, predicting maintenance needs and automatically dispatching service teams before breakdowns occur. This is really taking predictive maintenance to the next level. Again, the net effect is reduced operational costs, increased agility, and more time for your workforce to engage in strategic creative work. Let's bring this concept to life with some concrete examples. First, let's think about manufacturing. So Siemens has an industrial copilot, right? Using this with Microsoft's Copilot, that addresses for them the global shortage of skilled labor in automation engineering. And they use this for 2 dedicated use cases. They have Industrial Copilot for engineering and Industrial Copilot for operations. Terminology clarification here. Copilot is a Microsoft product, but you'll hear about agents sometimes talked about as copilots. Again, reinforcing the idea that these are operational assistants. So back to Siemens, this initiative that they're doing, it's currently being tested with over 100 companies. They collaborate with Microsoft, integrating the industrial copilot with Siemens' totally integrated automation portal. They use Azure's ChatGPT and GPT-4 for the AI models, and the copilot generates structured control language. So this is for the machinery. Generates this code, explains the code, and finds answers in the totally integrated automation portal documentation, enabling faster code generation and reducing time to market. So Siemens is using this to help with a shortage of skilled labor in automation engineering. Right, productivity for them as they have a gap in the workforce. So they're using this to help their productivity when they don't have the workforce to do it. Another example, Oracle. So according to Oracle's Vice President of Applications Development, Steve Miranda, Oracle's got 50 agents that have been deployed and 50 more they're planning on deploying. We'll talk about just 3 of them here. The first is their benefits agent. This AI agent supports over 100,000 employees by answering questions about leave, medical coverage, and other benefits. It then uses the benefits policy uploaded to an Oracle database to provide accurate responses. So it really helps streamline HR processes and ensures employees have quick access to important information. Oracle also has a general ledger agent. This is designed for internal finance analysts and controllers. This agent assists with month-end close analysis, report reconciliation, and trend identification. Provides detailed backups, including journal entries, invoices, purchase orders, and workflow approvals. So this improves the efficiency and accuracy of their financial operations. So a key thing here, as we think about agents, and I again try to stress the point that we're not talking about things taking over, or things replacing humans per se, or taking over. Augmenting. Here, a clear thing that Oracle's doing is this general ledger agent is providing detailed backups. So not only is it helping do report reconciliation to identify trends, it provides all the data required for a human to review and make sure that it's accurate. But this is helping improve efficiency and the accuracy. But the third agent that we'll talk about that Oracle is put into production is a proposal generation agent. Now, this AI agent integrates with their customer experience and their ERP applications to generate highly tailored proposals using comprehensive customer data, including your product usage and the received discounts. So this really enhances the quality and the relevance of proposals, leading to better customer engagement and higher conversion rates. So think about where maybe you could use this in your environment. And an exercise to go through is to think about all of the manual tasks that get done, all of the mundane routine tasks that get done, all the things that I wish I could automate this task, right? If you could identify the tasks that get done, like you've seen in these agents that Oracle is using, you could think about how can you apply this in your business. The next one we'll talk about financial services. So according to Tony Wimmer, the head of analytics and insights at JP Morgan Payments, they want to engineer an agent to understand the job of a treasurer. So when the treasurer asks certain questions, this AI agent would know the right answer. And they envision that tools like this may also let corporate treasurers with no coding knowledge instantly translate plain language questions into the equivalent database queries, gaining insights complete with the accompanying charts and graphs. This type of work today would take data analytics teams days to produce. Right? And according to Wimmer, if we get this right, he says, then that's the productivity gain people are talking about. So when you think about one of the big things here is productivity gain. If they get this right, it really does help. The last example to talk about here is healthcare. And this is really fascinating. And this is now not just about productivity, but this is about people's health and people's lives. So when you think about stroke, so a stroke occurs when a blood clot or a burst blood vessel blocks oxygen and nutrients to the brain. Okay, when this happens, time is brain tissue. So every minute counts when someone's having a stroke. Now, the problem is that the time frame is measured in minutes. So every minute that a patient doesn't receive care or doesn't receive intervention, a little bit more of their brain becomes irreversibly damaged. And this is especially true when you have what's called a large vessel occlusion. This is an ischemic stroke that occurs when a major artery in the brain is blocked. That kind of stroke is treatable if it's discovered in the right amount of time. There's a company called viz.ai that one of their products aims at tackling this problem. Right? How do you reduce that time? Right? If time is brain, how do you reduce the time for someone that may be having a stroke to be seen? So viz.ai helps streamline care coordination by analyzing patient's CT scan and alerting care teams of a potential stroke within minutes. Let's look at an example of one of their customers at Adventist Health and Rideout and UC Davis Health's Comprehensive Stroke Center working together. So when a potential stroke patient arrives at Adventist Health and Rideout, their CT scan is uploaded to the secure viz.ai platform. Within minutes, AI analyzes the scan. If it identifies a large vessel occlusion, again, a major type of stroke, the tool sends mobile notifications to vascular neurologists at both Adventist Health and Rideout and the UC Davis Health's Comprehensive Stroke Center. The reviewing physicians decide whether or not the patient should be transferred to UC Davis Health for more specialized care. And so according to the director of UC Davis Health's Comprehensive Stroke Center, Quan Ing, this AI tool allows for the rapid evaluation of stroke patients with the most severe type of stroke, blockage of a large artery, for interventional treatment. According to viz.ai, from scan to team notification is 73% faster. And then from team notification, intervention, 42%. So they're looking at from scan to alert being 6 minutes and really cutting down on time from the door to intervention. Right? So how quick can you make that? Really cutting things down. So again, these different examples we've gone over show that AI agents are not a distant future promise, but they're here today, already delivering measurable value from process automation, employee augmentation, cost reduction, enhanced decision-making, really changing things drastically. And I love this quote from Tony Wimmer, again, the head of analytics and insights at JP Morgan. Once we do this, and once you start to see this impact in your organization, then humans can focus on the more value-adding tasks of making decisions, aligning people, driving culture, solving organizational issues, the things that really only humans can do. So again, think about agents, but let's think about it as these are assistants to help us to enable the humans to focus on more value-adding tasks. Let's now touch on how these agents work. We talked about defining them, some examples. Let's go over how they work here. So there's 3 key elements that contribute to it. And we're going to look at some of these. So the first is memory. So memory provides a continuity, enabling agents to retain context from previous interactions. Right, you think about how we use context as humans. Okay, so we could talk about what we're talking about now of AI agents. In a week from now, someone may ask you about it. What do you think about AI agents? You can remember this and bring this into your context. All right, you could switch context if you meet someone at a store. where you know them from, but now in a different location. Right, so it's providing them retain this context from previous interactions. You'll hear this thing with chunking and chaining. Right, there's a process of dividing interactions into storable and linkable bits for faster access. It's similar to human memory. Next element is entitlements. So entitlements ensure secure access to information needed for agents to perform tasks on the user's behalf. Again, this involves granting permission-based access to relevant information, such as who is a user's boss. When you think about the examples it gave of Oracle, here's a system that is accessing general ledger, accessing different enterprise systems, an ERP system. Right, these entitlements are giving it the permissions. And the third is tools. So agents need access to various computer programs and tools to take action. Examples of this like Teams and PowerPoint. So you could think about an agent really needs these tools to be able to complete a task. If we go back to any of the examples that resonated with you that I gave, whether it is things that Siemens is doing with coding, it's looking at their portal for documentation, right? It needs access to that, right? It needs access to the tool to do that. If you think about the Oracle case, again, whether it is employee benefits, whether it's general ledger, whether it is providing proposals, there's tools that are part of how this agent works. Right? Computer programs and tools to take action, right? To access the ERP. Okay, so think about those things. So Teams and PowerPoint, again, the same thing. If you're going to be interacting with chat from the standpoint of what we may use in an organization like Microsoft Teams, accessing documents like PowerPoint. And there's 3 stages involved in how AI agents achieve user-defined goals. You could think about the first being goal initialization and planning. So despite their autonomy, AI agents do require human-defined goals and environments. And we're in this with it, right? We're building these. So developers and users influence the agent behavior. So you think about the agents have the ability to break down complex goals into smaller manageable tasks, but it's how developers build these and it's how users interact with it that can influence it. They go through then a reasoning stage using available tools. Again, tools are like external data sets, a web search, an API. Could also be other agents to retrieve missing information and to update their quote unquote knowledge base. The agent then reassesses their plan of action and gets self-correct at each step. So it's reasoning with the tools. The tools are pieces of software that a developer is writing. Or it could be to perform a web search. It may have access to just go and do that search on its own. Why do you think about APIs? If you've used ChatGPT lately, you may have noticed that it now has like search, has a little internet icon, in the chat box. You could click on that, and then as you're conversing with it, you'll see that it may search the web. Right? That's using a tool. Right? So think about that web search as a tool. And then the last stage that the agent goes through is this learning and reflection. So it has feedback mechanisms. It could be feedback from other agents and also a human in the loop system, right? Helping the agents improve accuracy and adapt to the user preferences. When you think about the viz.ai, right? You're going to have doctors responding to, yes, this patient needs treatment, or no, the interpretation of the image is wrong. There's going to be humans in the loop in almost every case here to improve the agent. If it's general ledger for Oracle, you could almost guarantee that someone is reviewing the summarization and everything that the agent put together. With Siemens, same thing. You have it writing code, someone's going to review that, right? They're accommodating for, they don't have enough people to write the code, but now you could have people that help review it. Maybe there's an agent that reviews it, but at a certain point, someone is going to be providing supervision. Okay, same thing. We think about this productivity, but again, there almost always, for the time being, is going to be some human in the loop somewhere. Right? Improving accuracy and also to adapt to preferences. And this really gets to the concept of like iterative refinement, where you think about the agents continuously learning from interactions and feedback, and then being able to improve their reasoning and accuracy. Right? So this is a continuing area of research, and you'll see this continue to evolve over time. If we think about some of the strategic benefits, and of course the challenges, because we know there's going to be challenges. From an executive vantage point, the strategic benefits are multi-layered, but they could really like transform operations. So think about some of the direct business benefits. Reduce operational costs through automation, again, of routine tasks. You could have increased agility in your business processes. Oracle's a great example of this. More time for human talent to focus on strategic work. Think about what JP Morgan is doing. They want to improve the productivity of their workforce and allow them to focus on strategic work. You could improve the accuracy and the consistency in operations. Whether that's a Siemens use case, whether that's the JP Morgan one, whether it's the Oracle agents, whether it's the viz.ai, improving accuracy and consistency. It's repeatable. Agents are also operational 24/7. And so this is could be running all the time. These are not, again, without their challenges. Think about data privacy and security. All right, we're going to need to ensure the responsible use of data, and really protecting sensitive information is crucial. There's, of course, ethical considerations. You think about bias and ensuring fair and unbiased decision-making by AI agents. This is really essential. We're going to have to address this as a community. We're going to have to address this in each business, right? As an industry, this is going to need to be tackled. As you're going to need to keep this in mind. The complexity of integration. Thinking about integrating these AI agents, it's not just, great, we're doing an AI agent tomorrow, and boom, it's integrated into your workflows and into your enterprise. That's not the case, right? Integrating them seamlessly into your workflows and systems could really be a challenge. Again, there's a part here that we need to reiterate, that these AI agents are not just something that you just appear. It's not just using ChatGPT and there's an agent. There's a whole part of this that you're integrating. There's a whole part of this agent that is tools that you're building, integrations you're building. Companies are doing this, viz.ai, they've done this work as opposed to the hospitals and medical centers taking this on. But that's a whole workflow, right? So it's a challenging thing. So it's very domain specific. We run the risk too of over-reliance. It's really important to maintain a human oversight and avoid over-dependence on these AI agents. Again, think about how they could be used to replicate or to automate mundane tasks, right? And streamline operations. Think about it that way. You run the risk of these infinite feedback loops too, that agents could get stuck in loops. So it may repeatedly call the same tools without achieving the goal. So another thing to be aware of. And there's computational complexity. I mean, building and training sophisticated agents could be resource intensive. And so just some of the challenges associated with them. And some of these we'll get into in more detail in later episodes, but just be aware of these. Now, there's ways to mitigate a lot of these challenges as well. I mentioned Siemens using Copilot. Microsoft has a Copilot control system. If you are building things in the Microsoft Azure ecosystem, they have a Copilot control system to manage data access, governance, and security controls for AI agents, helping put the guardrails around it. Having human-in-the-loop approvals. So think about implementing systems where humans review and approve critical actions taken by the agents. And so they may be able to surface all this information for you, but there's a human that says, yep, that is right. Check the box, push the button, right, to approve it. You need to have activity logs, right? Provide users with access to logs of the agent actions. Then you get transparency and error detection. You should design AI agents with a mechanism for being interrupted. So you can interrupt their operations if needed, kind of preventing runaway processes. Data governance and cybersecurity. You really need to think about prioritizing data governance, ensuring compliance with regulations, and implementing robust cybersecurity measures. The last one, but certainly not the least important, ethical guidelines. Make sure you establish clear ethical guidelines to govern the development and deployment of AI agents, focusing on fairness, accountability, and transparency. The future of AI agents. So what's on the horizon? As large language models continue to advance, and as we integrate them with reinforcement learning, and human there and reinforcing, and advanced reasoning engines, AI agents will continue to grow. So there's lots of areas where you see the research, right, of instruction following and self-improving large language models. So OpenAI has been active research on developing agents that, again, continuously learn and improve their performance. We see that they'll be able to reason about complex problems. It's another key area where you'll see this growing. So there's been research efforts by Microsoft, Google's DeepMind on AI agents that could tackle complex tasks, such as logistics route optimization and financial forecasting. There's multimodal AI. So when you think about multimodal, that just means different types of data. So text, images, and audio. Think about agents interacting with that. We'll see the rise of general purpose agents. So those that could operate in a wide range of environments and perform diverse tasks. If you think about the examples that we talked about earlier, all of those are very domain specific. They'll be in the future more the general purpose. You'll see these AI research assistants. So thinking about agents that are designed to assist with academic research. There's already one like ML Agent Bench. This tests an agent's ability to engage in scientific experimentation. So using it again to augment and help with that. You can imagine them being integrated with robotics. Right? Now you're enabling robots to perform more complex tasks and learn from their surroundings. Unlike some of the automation today, that is rule-based. Think about from a development standpoint of voice-controlled app development, using voice commands to build complete applications. And now you have the potential for future voice-driven development using AI agents. And there's going to be ongoing research, and we'll certainly get there, of having a standardization of frameworks. There's ongoing efforts to standardize and industrialize frameworks for developing AI agents, making them then more accessible and cost effective. Right? We're early in the journey, but we're getting there. The potential impact of agents on the future of work, there's lots of possibilities here. Really, I think it's this enhanced productivity and efficiency. Think again about agents to automate tasks, freeing up humans for higher level work. Admittedly, it's not all roses that there aren't jobs that may go away because of this. Absolutely the case. It's happened with every time technology has changed, every time innovation has changed in the world. But there always ends up being new jobs. So I think you'll see new job roles and skills. The rise of AI agents, it certainly will create new job roles focused possibly on managing, training, and collaborating with agents. I think we'll see a time of having this seamless human AI collaboration, so more integrated into workflows, acting really as like virtual teammates. I just think about, can you use something that could automatically send emails, schedule calendar invites, and provide you with briefing of what you need to know for that meeting? Just think about this as like a virtual teammate to do this. I think we'll see personalized customer experiences. They'll enable businesses really to provide highly personalized services and support to customers. So some of the key takeaways from this episode. AI agents represent a fundamental shift beyond traditional automation. They can handle complex, variable tasks that previously required human judgment. The technology today is mature enough for practical business use. Look what's happening even with something as significant as stroke. Right? And viz.ai is being used in many major hospitals, medical centers, so think about that. You got to make sure that the implementation aligns with clear business objectives. Every example I gave you of this being used is a very clear objective that they're going after. Oracle has 50 agents as of this in production. They're looking to deploy another 50 of them. Very specific objectives for each one. Early adoption of this could really provide significant competitive advantages as well. So your action items: assess your organization's readiness. Identify maybe some use cases where this could be used. Evaluate technology partners. You don't have to go at this alone. You may have the team to do it, but you don't have to. I then look at like piloting, maybe planning a pilot program. Develop the governance frameworks, absolutely, and then create an implementation roadmap. So think about perhaps some of those things. And then looking ahead, in our next episode, we're going to explore the how, diving into implementation strategies, technical considerations, and best practices for introducing AI agents into your organization. We'll, of course, address important questions about security, governance, and change management. I urge you, even if you're not a very technical business executive, please tune in. Right? I think it's important that we'll go deep in some of these episodes on technology, but it's stuff that's really good to understand so you have a real deep understanding as to what's happening in your organization and in the larger world as well, and in the business world as well. In closing, AI agents do represent more than just another technology trend. They really are poised to fundamentally change how businesses operate. We've seen from real world examples, Oracle, Siemens, UC Davis, the impact on productivity and operations is already substantial. The question isn't whether to adopt AI agents, but how to do so strategically and effectively. Thank you for joining me for this episode of AI Demystified for Executives. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll explore the technical implementation details of AI agents. That's all for now.